Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? How you doing? How you been? What's going on? What's good? How you getting it in? Body getting it funny? What's going on? Hopefully everybody's doing everything as far as being prosperity in this life of living. Now, I come to you with bad news, of course, in reference to a trans man who has died. His name was, make sure I do this right. His name was Rowan Feldhaus. He was 25 years old. He was from AUGUSTA, Georgia. Okay. Now, the thing is that he wouldn't have the surgery as far as, his transition and stuff, and he ended up dying. And I want to share this with you, what happened to him. Check this out. Okay, this is going on May the 17th, 2017. A local transgender man dies after complications in AUGUSTA, Georgia. A local transgender man fought for his right for legally change his name has died from complication with surgery last week. Rowan went under the knife for one of his gender transition surgeries and was there were complications. It was a complication post-surgery, and that he was remitted post-surgery and started snowballing from there. His friend Atkins said Rowan, 25, was in the final stage of transition into a man. He started the progress about 2 years ago. A year ago, he petitioned the court legally to change his name to Rowan. Now, Judge David Robert denied his request, stating, "My policy has been that I will not change a name for obviously female name to an obviously male name, or vice versa." The same judge also denied another trans man from changing his name too. "We were all very proud of Rowan for accepting that was clearly a wrong and was fighting for his own personal freedoms," Atkins said. Now, both Rowan and the other young man appeared in March. Georgia Court of Appeals overturned Judge Roper decision. Rowan's name is now legal. "This can't be happening. This just started. He just started his life the way he wanted to," Jennifer Morris said. On Monday, Rowan had a hysterectomy. He went into a septic shock. A few days later, lost oxygen of the brain. He was fighting for his life in Augusta's University Medical Center. His family did not expect him to survive. Now, Rowan knew the risk of going into it all, and he was willing to accept that. The risk to do what he knew he wanted to do. Now, Rowan said, he has always been a personal hero of mine." His friend said he'll personally be a personal friend of mine. He sets examples for others to follow him in which he lived. Now, Rowan's mother says he will continue to help people after his death. He was an organ donor, so, and also, here is the news footage in reference to Rowan's life. Check this out.
A life cut short for a man transitioning to a life he wanted to live.
And this can't be happening. He just started. He's living his life the way he wanted it to.
A local transgender man has died after complications with surgery. The surgery was one of his last in transitioning into a man.
Rowan Feldhaus made national news after a local judge denied his request to legally change his name. Just last month, the State Court of Appeals overruled that local judge, and Rowan Feldhaus became his legal name.
On your sides, Liz Owens has been talking with his friends and family.
I don't even know that Rowan would want to be remembered. He was a very private person, but I think that people need to understand what a important thing he did, and he did it for the right reasons.
Rowan Feldhaus was not the kind of person to want the spotlight. What he wanted,
He was towards the end of his transition,
was to be himself.
Rowan knew the risk going into all of this, and he was willing to accept the risk to do what he knew he wanted to do.
The 25-year-old began transitioning into a man about 2 years ago. A year ago, he petitioned the court to change his birth name from Rebecca Elizabeth to Rowan Elijah. A local judge denied his request, but just 2 months ago, the Georgia Court of Appeals overturned the decision, and Rowan's name became legal.
We were all very proud of Rowan for not accepting what was clearly just a wrong decision, and for him to continue to fight for what was just his own personal freedoms.
On Monday, Rowan had a hysterectomy. He went into septic shock a few days later and lost oxygen to his brain.
And Rowan will always be a personal hero of mine, and he set an example for others to follow with just the way that he lived his daily life.
Because Rowan believed a life lived in fear is a life half lived.
Okay, you see that? All I can say is the family, you're in my prayers, and Rowan, rest in peace. 25 years old, he's in his prime, living his dream, and he goes to the hospital, which was a licensed doctor, and he ended up dead. Now, skeptics is the thing that we're saying that was, he ended up dying from. Now, I had to look that up, and it says it's a life-threatening condition that happens when blood pressure drops to a dangerous low level after an infection. And he died. And this is in AUGUSTA, Georgia. Now this is my thing. I'm not trying to piggyback off anything, and I just find it really horrible what he went through. He had to fight to get his name changed. He had to go fight against a judge because the judge had his personal feelings about this man's life, and he felt as though he had the right to dictate this man's life in reference to just a name. Just a name. I don't like doing these type of videos because I get a public opinion. And the one thing I can't stand is hypocrites. People will come on this page and they will show so much hate to this man, but they will not allow the same hate to be brought back to them. The thing that gets me even more so, and I'm not trying to say this is right, but the mother allegedly donated his organs. So my question is, and I'm not trying to piggyback off, and I'm not saying this is right, but I have to bring this up. There are unlicensed doctors who have put silicone in transgender's body. And it seems like this type of thing happened to them in reference to him. They pumped in the wrong place. The trans woman would end up dying because of the silicone. Here it is, a trans man, Rowan, went to a legal doctor in Georgia, United States of America, did everything right, and ended up dying similar to the way the trans women died. The only difference is the trans women got silicone put into their body, and he was getting a hysterectomy and ended up dying. And I know some people will say, well, Raven, that's the difference because it's black market. Death is death. Death is death. And it's the same thing I know of, but this one was done in the United States of America. Now, I talked about this before, but it's a trans woman who was killed. She went to a licensed doctor as well. And now Kelly Harper is not here anymore. and she done tons of people work. She was from the black market as well, but she did a lot of people's bodies, and they're all still here. Here it is, licensed doctor have killed her. Here it is, a licensed doctor has killed him. So my point is to you, when you are going into these surgeries, be careful. Be careful. Because just because it says a licensed doctor don't mean that you're going to come out alive. And we know that when it comes down to black market, we already said, well, I may die, or something may bad. We're already ready. But I think those same qualifications that we think within that unlicensed doctor, we need to share it with this licensed doctor, that he may kill us too. And it's not uncommon, and not trying to piggyback off, but Joan Rivers, she's murdered. She's a female, of course, the comedian. She went to a licensed doctor. Her daughter sued them. Now I'm wondering if Rowan's mother is going to sue the doctor in reference to his life being taken. Because now Rowan is dead. But, I just want to share this story with you. And remember, 25 years old. Just a baby. Just about to enjoy life. Trying to live in his truth. To be taken away. So all I can say is rest in peace, and I want to share this story with you as reference to his life. And I want you to stay woke whenever you get these surgeries done and you say on yourself. Remember, licensed doctors are killing people too. We love to talk about what the unlicensed ones do. We need to also bring the light that you may die even if you go to a licensed doctor. And I'm sure the list can go even longer than the one I share with you. It's just horrible. Surgery it's horrible. Anyway, that being said, I just want to share this there with you. And I would love to hear your feedback on this. And I'm not saying go get, okay, let me just say this because I know somebody's going, oh, you're trying to say we should go get pumped with her. That's not what I'm saying. If you're missing the message, then it's not for you. I will get in some people's minds, well, maybe, when I go to darkness, I'm going to think about this. And some people are only going to find a problem with everything I'm saying. You missed the message, and that's where you're at in life, and that's fine. Because I'm not in the business of trying to create or convince you of anything in your life. The one thing I do know, that the comments are real and the hate is real. People love to put themselves in someone else's situation. And I learned that there are a lot of hypocrites walking among the earth that are also in the LGBT. So just want to put that out there in reference to his life. And all I can say is rest in peace, Rowan. And I want to share his story with you and his life, and as well as be celebrated. He stood in his truth, and that's all he could do. Anyway, I would love you to feedback this, and I want to let you know that I love you. And I want to thank you for watching Catch the Rain.